Hi, my name's Stuart, and today in our Advent series we're going to look briefly at Joseph, Jesus' dad on earth, and maybe try and understand the craziness of what he had to get his head around in finding out that his fiancée was pregnant and not being his child, then encountering an angel with a mind-blowing message that would change his life and the whole world. This is what the narrative in Matthew 1 in the Bible reads. This is how the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph. But before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her to public disgrace, he had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you will give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. Starting to get my head around being a dad nearly 19 and a half years ago was probably one of the most defining moments in my life. I can't even put into words the emotions and the thoughts that go through your head. Everything from incredible joy and thought and to paralysing fear. And often in a very short space of time. When I was processing the present reality and what was ahead in the future. To be honest, I still feel some of those emotions now and some of those thoughts. My kids say that I'm very soppy. Joseph, however, he would have had layers of confusion and doubt added onto this. We get no insight into whether he believes Mary's story or not, but rather that he is faithful to the law, a Jewish law, which this child is set to fulfill. He feels compelled to remain true to his Jewish faith and the law that is marked out by it, but he doesn't wish to bring shame upon Mary. Then there's this extraordinary encounter with an angel, with a message that is supernatural and changes the whole world forever. How do you carry a message like that in your heart and process that? Joseph later on went to have another encounter with an angel when he was told that after Jesus was born that they were to flee to Egypt as refugees, because their lives were under threat from King Herod. Check out the narrative later on in the story. Just now, take a moment to think about Joseph and all that he had to carry inside himself as he processed a supernatural revelation and then lived this out with Mary as Jesus was born on this planet and he watched him grow up. I'm sure again and again that he would come back to this encounter moment to remind himself of what God had promised. So if you consider yourself as someone who follows Jesus, then are you ready for supernatural God encounters? It may be with angels, but actually it's probably more likely that you will hear God speak to you in other ways. That will be defining moments that you need to process and live out in your life. Today, maybe ask God to speak, and he will always be ready, and that your journey might never be the same. If you don't consider yourself as someone who follows Jesus yet, then I'd encourage you just to say this out to God. God, if you're there, please speak to me in ways that you want to. Then be expectant that he will. It will be a defining moment in your life. It will change your direction and God will be with you. Emmanuel, another name for Jesus, means God with us.